Namaste. Welcome to SM Yoga. Susie here with Yoga Pause video number 6. So this will be the final one in the series, kind of bringing us to the end of a practice. So you could do this video by itself or after one of the other ones, because this one is kind of the end, so to speak, of the practice with a little mini Shavasana even at the end. It's coming full circle, so we're going to be doing most everything seated in the chair again. So let's get started. You will need a chair, obviously. Probably also blocks or something similar to blocks. And I would say for what we're going to start with, you could even put one on the high position in between your feet. If you have two, there might be a need, depending on you, to even make a little tower like so. But I'll just show with one to start with. I'm not going to use it right away. So sit up well in your chair, a little bit away from the back. And I don't have arms on my chair, so I can put my hands back here. If you have arms, you can put your arms on the arms of the chair like so. Just make sure it doesn't make you crunch your shoulders up. So whatever you're doing, just have the shoulders a little bit down and back. We're going to start with a seated cow-cat movement. So as usual with cow, on your inhalation, you're arching your back, looking up. You can push with your hands a little bit to help you into the movement. And then on the exhale, I'm going to be lifting my heels because it just comes naturally to me to help kind of push back into my cat to lift my heels. You might not find that to be true for you, so you don't have to do that. I think it helps a little bit. And then also for our cat position, we don't want to overemphasize the rounding of the spine because that's kind of how we find ourselves very often when we're working at a desk for long periods of time. So I'm going to suggest for your cat pose, you're concentrating more on just scooping the belly in and up, as if you could just lift up right into the solar plexus here. So that's going to be the emphasis of our cat. So just a few times inhaling for cow, arching, and then exhale, just pushing back and scooping in and up. Inhale and exhale, scoop. A few more times. Inhale and exhale. You can still do a little round, little drop of the head on your cat. Inhale and exhale. Last time. And then just come back to your neutral spine. So with the block between the feet, we're going to go into a kind of a version of a triangle, a seated triangle pose. So we'll be turning towards the right first. So your left hand might go down to the block between your feet. So why don't we just start with it there, and then start just basically turning to your right. At first, the right arm is going to go up over your right ear. So just check to make sure, angling the spine forward, keeping it long and straight, a little bit of a turn to the side at the same time, and just reaching that right arm away. Now, depending on you, you might find that this bottom hand could even go down lower, maybe to the ankle, to your left ankle. And just taking a couple breaths with the right arm, reaching really, really long, getting into a little bit of a side stretch on the right side. And then take that right arm and let it come around behind your back. And think of this shoulder going up even more, finding some opening for the pecs and the chest on the right side. And you can look up towards the ceiling. Now you can either stay right here, taking a couple more breaths, or you can take the bottom arm and actually bring it to the outside of your right leg. So then you're pressing a little bit more. This leg presses into the arm at the same time, so there's some resistance there, and maybe that will allow you to twist even more. Still just angling forward. Couple more breaths. And then on an exhalation, release and come back to center. We'll just do one cow, cat, and center. And then we'll go towards the other side. So turning towards your left. The right hand can be on the block here to start with. You might move it down lower to the ankle or so once you get going. So turning to face towards the left, spine's just angling forward, and the left arm goes up and over. First is really reaching that top arm away. And then if you like, the hand can go down to that ankle on the same side as the arm to start with. Reaching the top arm away, and then wrap it around behind you and think just of that shoulder going up. More. And then again, your choice, you can take the bottom arm across. So it goes to the outside of your left leg, and then maybe taking a little bit more of a twist. Couple more breaths. On an exhalation, release and come back into sit. We'll just do a cow cat one more time. Inhaling and exhale. Great. So now we're going to come to center. We're just going to stretch out the hands and fingers a little bit now. So interlacing the fingers together in front of you, just push the hands away. And just think of opening up the palms. Think of the center of the palm getting stretched out. And then bring the hands closer into you so you can look at them, so you can switch the interlace. I find it easier to really switch the interlace if I'm looking at my hands. And again, opening up the palms nice and wide. Then we're going to stretch each hand separately. So one hand comes out, flex the wrist, and just pull back on the fingers. You could really take some time here and do each individual finger and the thumb, which might feel really good if you spend a lot of time typing. I'm not going to do each finger now, but you could certainly do that on your own. And just take a couple moments, really opening up those fingers. Very good. So now we're going to come to fold forward. So actually, one thing we're going to do first before we fold forward. We're just going to breathe for a few rounds of breath in pranayama called Samavriti Pranayama. So it's very simple. We're just going to breathe the same length of time for the inhalation as for the exhalation. So I'm going to start counting to 4 to inhale, 4 to exhale. We'll just do that twice, and then I'll let you decide if you want to continue counting to 4 on your own. If that's too long to inhale and exhale, you can cut it back to 3 or whatever you need to do. I'm going to say just it's kind of nice after we've stretched out the hands, maybe woken up the fingers a little bit. We can place the hands right up on the top of the chest so you can feel your heartbeat a little bit as you breathe. I find it nicer to now separate the feet a little bit just for a little more stability. And you can do this with your eyes closed or half closed, whatever you like. And just take a big, long exhale to start with. Breathing in and out through the nose. Let's start. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And continue on your own a few more times. Finish up whatever round you're on and then release the hands down to the lap. And now we'll finish with a little fold forward. This is sort of a seated happy baby. So the feet are going to come even more wide apart. And we're going to reach down. You could use your block definitely for this, or 2 blocks, whatever you need. We're going to reach the spine long forward and then put the hands down, either on blocks, or maybe you can put your hands on top of your feet, like so. The spine is going to be long and straight to start with. So stay there for a breath. And then it's up to you if you want to come down a little bit lower. I'm going to keep the spine long and straight, so the spine is staying like as of a piece, just coming down a little bit more, maybe the elbows bend. It's optional to drop the head and let the rounding of the spine take place. It's really up to you. I'm just going to stay kind of in a neutral spine. A couple more breaths, just lowering down in between the legs. And then walk the hands back up to sit. So there's so many things you can do. You can really start to just create your own little stretches and movements in your chair or throughout your day to keep the body from getting too tight and stiff, and just kind of reconnect to your body while you're working at your desk or wherever you're working. So we're going to finish with a little seated Shavasana. So what I would normally suggest in like a regular yoga class is to do a Shavasana with your legs up on the seat of the chair. So you lie down on the floor in front of the chair and put your legs up so the backs of the calves are resting up on the seat of the chair. If you're in your office, workspace, it might not, fly too well, so you can just do this seated. But scoot back so you can feel the back of the chair. So we're still going to retain our nice posture that we've gained throughout this practice. Nice lengthened spine, a feeling of a little more lightness in the upper body. But we're going to start to relax it a little bit. So the chair can start to take your weight a little bit. Rest your hands on your lap with the palms up. And just close the eyes, or if you want to keep your eyes open, just let the eyelids kind of droop down a little bit and look down at the floor in front of you. And just think of, again, just breathing, not really counting the breath now, but just noticing how your breath wants to be in this moment, just naturally, how it feels after going through this practice. And that's what's really valuable to me about a yoga asana practice or pranayama practice, is the after effect, sort of the residue that lasts after you've done practicing. You go back to your daily life. Whatever effects still are felt later on. Just start to notice those. If you have more time, you can always keep going in a little bit of your relaxation mode like this in Shavasana. But I'm going to wind things up here in case you do need to get back to work. Thank you so much for joining me for these yoga pauses. They've been really fun to record. Please leave me any comments for any feedback, or if you would like to have more of these shorter little practices, more targeted towards different issues. I would love to hear about that. Namaste, take care, and I'll see you next time.